Hello, my family. I know it's been a while since we had a one-on-one, but um, today was kind of important. I received something from one of my subscribers, and y'all, it was touching, extremely touching. The gifts that we received is absolutely amazing, and after I opened up this box and looked at the gifts, I got a hold of this letter. Y'all, this letter touched me in such a way. I'm just going to tell you, when I started this YouTube channel, stepping out of my comfort zone, being a different type of homesteader, basically I call it a homesteader with a twist, having a diabetic in our family, allowing this homestead to benefit us in so many different ways. I never thought that I would end up with folks like you. And I thank God for each and every one of you. I honestly do. I don't know where this is going to take us, but I look at it like this. If I can reach out, if our journey that we do or these channels can help anybody in any way, that's a blessing. But even if it doesn't help, just to know that somebody's not alone in this, or the fact that, things like this happen in our lives, and I'm not intimidated and I'm not ashamed. So making this video, taking our journey, even though it is different, it's a blessing in disguise. And I've always felt that way. I do believe, and I've said it before, that my husband getting diabetes was a blessing in disguise. And it's hard to actually think about it that way, but it's the truth. And I mean, it made me realize the direction I needed to go in him, and we changed all that. And then I created these videos. I wanted others to know you're not alone. At first, I felt alone in all of this because I couldn't relate to anybody, and especially as a homesteader. So I decided to go ahead and create this channel. I never in my life would have ever expected anything like this, or the words that came from this letter. My goodness, y'all. You make me feel like I have found a family who I can relate to. And so I'm going to continue these videos with you, and I'm going to continue loving the family that we have. And I am blessed by each and every one of you. Now, occasionally I did say that I will be doing some traditional breads, but those are on the more healthier side of sourdoughs, the more gut healthy types. I made one, and I'm fixing to do some English muffins. And it'll be a two-part series. I'm going to go ahead and start the starter of it today because it's got to sit overnight. And I thought I'd take you on that part with me as well. But I just want you to know, even if these gifts did not show up, y'all, when I talk to you, when I share with you, when I communicate with you, each of you really don't know how much you bless me and how much you touch my heart. Each of you allow me to know that you found a home through this channel, and that to me is absolutely amazing. It's amazing, and it's a blessing. When the good Lord led me to do this, I never knew what to expect, and I'm humbled. I am deeply, deeply humbled by each and every one of you. So I will continue to keep making these videos, and although they will be different, we are currently at the moment taking the bok choy, and I'm hardening them off to get ready to go in the garden about the 22nd, along with the onions, the bunching onions. Bell peppers, they are starting to come up. I did get a very poor germination rate on the cauliflower and the Napa cabbage. We've got 4 of the Napas, and then I've got 2 so far cauliflower. I'm hoping more will come up. But I also did a different seed starting mix. That's the one I did with y'all with the Jiffy mix. So I may go back to my peat moss instead. I'll try that experiment when it comes to my tomatoes, because I definitely would like to get more. So I'm going to go ahead and start this with you on the the sourdough English muffins. I fed my sourdough this morning, and I have some left over, just enough for this recipe on my discard to go ahead and make this batch. And after we make it, this one will sit completely overnight until tomorrow, and then I'll go ahead with the rest of the process with you. Okay, so with this mix, like I said, this is going to sit out overnight. So with this mix, I'm going to need a half a cup of sourdough starter, and this is my discard. It smells so good. This is my discard from the 2 jars that I have been working with. So I have enough to do this recipe. So I'm going to start with pouring out a half a cup of this starter, and I like using more of a plastic one instead of metal, especially with sourdough. This mix is kind of thick. And there's my half a cup of starter. I'm going to make sure I get all of this starter out of here. It's going to require 1 cup of milk. Now on this milk, you can use a variety of different things. You can use a half and half, almond milk. You can use buttermilk, 2% milk. You can use, what I am using actually is I'm using non-dairy dry milk, powdered milk in mine. So any type of milk should work for this. Now this will be sitting out on the counter for the entire night, and it will cause the fermentation within this bread. So I'm going to now use 1 cup of milk. I'm using this half cup, so I'm going to do this twice. And there's my 1 cup of milk. Now I'm going to get my whisk. Now I'm going to whisk this up really good. Get this incorporated to like a liquid before I add my flour. Now the flour base I am going to use is, I'm going to use the same half and half mix as my starter has been. It has been 175 grams of whole wheat and 175 grams of unbleached bread flour. So I'm going to use that same mix in here. You can use all-purpose flour, you can use bread flour, whatever you wish to use as well. But this is a mix I'm going to do. I'm basically going to keep it the same ingredients that I have been feeding my sourdough starter with. So now I'm going to add 2 cups of my flour mix. And I like to flow my flour in my cups. This way I know that I'm not compacting it and I'm not getting more flour than I absolutely need. When I started doing this, I started getting a better rise in my flour, better consistency and less dense, because I wasn't getting too much flour anymore. So I just let it flow in my cup and I scrape the top. There's 1 cup. Go ahead and mix this up, and then I'll add my 2nd cup. This is going to be somewhat of a thick slurry type of mix. You want it that way though. This is not all of the flour that's going in here. There's another 3/4 cup, but that will come after the rise for the night. I'm doing this now so that way it'll be ready for me in the morning. Now I'm going to add my additional 1 cup. I got 1 more to go. And there's my 2 cups of my flour mix. Now I'm going to incorporate this all together. And this will now become thick. I want to make sure I get all of the flour incorporated in my mix. And at this point, I am going to use my spatula, because it is now getting quite thick. I started making these a couple years ago. I stopped making them for a while, but if I am going to actually have a carbed bread moderately, again, it's to save money because I can actually have it. My husband cannot. And so with his bread, I'd like to be able to save like his breakfast biscuits and stuff like that. I would like to save that for him. And occasionally, because these freeze so well, I can go in the freezer. They will last me a couple months, at least up to 6 months. And so I can occasionally get me a breakfast sandwich that way. And then that saves him on his food. It's getting really expensive, so now I'm just going to mix this up best I can here. Scraping up all this flour mix and putting it all in here. I don't think this was the right. Let me get a different spatula. Okay, this one here is more sturdier. So now I'm just going to take my edges and scrape all the way around the bowl. I don't want to leave any dry particles. I want to mix everything up really well in here. Incorporate it and then make this into a ball. Now tomorrow this will be sticky as well, so I will be wetting my hands to work with this. And though, again, sourdough is a process, but so much worth it. It is one of the best breads that you can consume as far as being gut healthy. It's easy to digest. It's a fermented bread, basically. So, and that's all I'm going to do here. Make sure, let me make sure the bottom's completely mixed together. All right, so now all I have to do is take my lid, and if you don't have a container with a lid, you can just go ahead and use saran wrap in a bowl like this, or anything that's non-metallic, not even stainless steel. I really don't like using metal, so I'm just now going to take my bread. Well, if I can get my lid on right. And I'm going to let this sit on my counter overnight. And that's all we're doing tonight. So, again, that was a 1/2 cup of sourdough starter, 1 cup of milk, and 2 cups of flour. I will also show you what I baked for us tonight. And hubby's going to be really, really happy with me. So let me go ahead and take you over here and show you our dessert. You remember I made the blueberry cheesecake bars. Well, I made raspberry tonight. Those blueberries turned out so amazing. So I went with the raspberry, and I am not dissatisfied. I am also looking at, we have a men's and women's meeting church function coming this weekend. So I am probably going to be making us also some cinnamon rolls for that. So I will set you all back up for just a moment, and we will be signing off. And that is all I have for today, y'all. I am going to be making probably a chili tonight with some deer meat chunks in it. It's this weather. We are so saturated with water. I'm even hoping right now. I saw some sprouts in the lettuce bed, so I don't think they got totally drowned yet. We do have some more storms. Lord help us, Jesus, more coming. It's so bad here. I'm wearing muck boots. So, and our temps, they're going up and down. It was beautiful today, and then it's just going to get cool tonight. So, and frankly, since I lost all this weight, I stay cold all the time. It's crazy. But my husband and I we both thank you all for being a part of this family. Like I said, we are different. We're a homestead with a twist, but you know, it's turning out to be such a heartfelt blessing for us to have you all with us and taking this journey with us. So, and like I said, if there were anything in this world that can humble me, all of you, and honestly, all 1,300 of you, that is absolutely amazing to know we made it this far. And so I am thankful. I am extremely thankful to each and every one of you. We both are. And I do call you family because you are our family. I mean, we're a family of our own. And to take this journey with you, it makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot more comfortable. So I just wanted to thank you. And that letter that I read, that package that came today, it was something I would have never in my life dreamed could happen. So I know the content here is a bit iffy these days, but with the weather that we have and this rain, and it's hard. It's really hard. So we try to come up with something new and exciting each time. So bear with us, and you have been. I thank you for that. And I'm going to sign off here. I do not want to ramble on. Much, much love to each and every one of you from Partin's Heritage Homestead. And God bless each and every one of you.